So how do you usually respond to bad experiences? See, pain prompts us to face who we are and where we are. What we do with these difficulties defines who we become. There's a quote by Martin Luther King, and there's a bunch of quotes from Martin Luther King, but this one is my favorite. This quote from Martin Luther King, it says, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of convenience and comfort, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy." That's like I said, that's my favorite quote from Martin Luther King because it's so true. It doesn't, the measure of a man is not necessarily when things are going well. It's not necessarily when everything is going right, because when everything is going right, yeah, of course you can have a great attitude. Of course you can be happy. Of course you can treat people right. Of course you can, be excited when things are going well. That don't tell me nothing. I want to know how are you when things are tough? I want to know how are you going to handle things when the road gets rocky, when the boat starts to shake? Like, I want to know how do you face challenges? How do you face hard times and difficulties? Like, how do you react? I want to know, do you blow up? Do you lose your mind? Do you start fighting everybody? Like, these are the things that you want to know about yourself. And these are the things that you want to know about the people in your life. You want to know the way they react to certain situations. Because some of us can manage negative situations well, and then some of us struggle. Some of us have a hard time with managing and dealing with hard times. But here's what I know about bad experiences. One of the things that separates people who thrive from people who just survive is how they face their problems. The people who thrive, they learn how to deal with their problems in a way that helps them. It actually helps them because they've learned how to manage it. They've learned how to deal with it in a constructive way. I would say it like that. And they don't hurt themselves even further. See, some people, when they when they start having problems, they give themselves more problems by the way that they handle it. Like, that the way you handle certain things, sometimes you can make the situation worse by the way that you handled it, the way that you responded. And so the one thing that separates people who succeed and people who don't is how they handle their problems. Because here's the thing, everybody's going to have problems. And so that's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't, is how they face and handle their problems. If they handle it head on and they move on from it, then those people tend to thrive. And they know that those bad experiences can be used for a stepping stone to the next level. And it's not necessarily because those people just love problems. Like, nobody loves to have problems. Nobody loves to have problems, because I've never heard anybody say, I just love to have a problem. I've never heard anybody say that. But what I have heard people say is that their greatest gains came in the middle of their pain. Like, they experienced some of the most growth when they were in the middle of their pain and their trouble. This reminds me of Joseph in the Bible. Now, Joseph, he had a lot of problems. If you know the story of Joseph, you know that he had a lot of problems. His brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery. He got lied on by somebody's thirsty wife. He ended up in prison. So he had a lot of problems. But everywhere he ended up, he kept getting elevated. Like, everywhere he ended up, he got elevated and put in some type of leadership role. He ended up being a leader at every level. And at the end of it all, he ended up being the second highest leader in Egypt, only second to Pharaoh. And so what he did was he found a way to use his problems, and his problems led to the growth that he experienced. Like, he didn't necessarily use them, but God used them. God used those problems to elevate him every time. And the same is true for us. We grow most from our hardest seasons in life. I know that's true for me. A lot of the growth that I've experienced, most of my growth that I've experienced came in the hardest seasons of my life. And it's in those struggles that we discover our strengths, we discover our resilience, and we discover the capacity to overcome. Romans 5:3 says, we glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance and character. The way you look at it is that this is the way to look at it, that suffering is a way to build character. Because see, here's what I know about bad experiences. Everybody has them. Everybody has bad experiences. It does not matter who you are, you can't escape bad experiences. You can't escape the problems of life. Nobody gets to escape these bad experiences. We all have them. You can try and do everything that you want to do. You can try to do everything that you want to do to avoid negative situations, but guess what? You can't. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. You cannot avoid troubles in life. You can't avoid them. Trouble is going to find you no matter who you are. But like I said, no one likes them. No one likes to have trouble. No one likes to go through pain. No one likes it when they're smack dab in the middle of a painful situation. Even if they know that it's going to work out on the other side, they still don't like it.